prompted him to grasp the two sides of his gown at heart level, elbows out, in a parody of a lecturer's stance. He tilted his head to offer the mirror an inspiring profile. He'd do. By George, he'd do. If the goddess Britannia had had a son, and that son had been admitted as a scholar to St. Jude's, he'd surely have presented just such an image. Clean-cut, direct gaze, yet sporting a nose that would have provoked an envious Duke of Wellington into calling en garde. Nerves calmed, he could now be on his way. Complete his mission. But Blandish appeared to be taking this nonsense at face value. He was giving the matter serious consideration. All is perfection, Dr. Rendlesham. I assure you the hemline rests where it has rested for 700 years, halfway between hock and heel, just brushing the fetlock. But, A reproving finger was raised. If you will permit me, sir? From heaven knew where, the man had suddenly conjured up a tailor's sponge, and was dabbing at a fold in the back of his gown, tutting all the while. Eve's pudding for supper last night, sir? You must have seated in front of a clumsy custard-eater. There, that's better. I'll just give the shoulders a brushing, and you'll be ready to take tea with the Queen. Ha! Tea with the Queen! Rupert snorted with amusement. Dinner with the devil is more what I have in mind. Thank you, Blandish. I'll be on my way. Give his satanic majesty my regards, sir. Rupert just made out the words murmured behind his back as he returned to the hubbub of the street. Yon Blandish would bear watching, he decided. Hidden depths? A possibility there. No, too useful in his capacity of outfitter to the university and gentry of the town. Rupert's nephew would be coming up next term, and he had planned on confiding the boy to this establishment for his sartorial needs. Never curdle the cream, and never foul your own nest. Those were the rules. He must seek his prey farther afield. He strode through the market square, surveying the midday crowd from his formidable 6'2" stature. It had been a good idea to wear his gown. At worst, it cloaked him in anonymity. At best, it granted him ease of passage. People moved out of his way, demonstrating their mistrust and dislike of academe. He scanned the mass of housewives and traders, lounging townies, and the sprinkling of students, desperate for fresh air and a change of scene. Checking, scorning, and ultimately rejecting the lot of them. A predictable and boring collection, with nothing more interesting on their minds than the size of Sunday's ham joint and the freshness of the cauliflower. Nothing here remotely resembling his target. Had he missed him? Mistimed his sortie? Rendlesham was growing anxious. His afternoon meeting was due to start at 1. There was little time to spare. After a very brief consideration, Rupert forgave himself. He would have to suggest a postponement, but his pride would be eternally dented if he let down the chaps. This was his first quest, and he'd volunteered after all. What's more, the selection had been made for him. The scented lure had been pressed to his nostrils by Fanshawe himself. He merely had to follow where it led. He could not be seen to fail. He'd have to calm down, put a lid on the cauldron of conflicting emotions bubbling over, and put his nose to the ground. Testily, he wondered whether Fanshawe had been ill-advised. Surely there were more fruitful hunting grounds than the market square. The sunny green banks of the Cam? No, not during exam season. The only people lurking discreetly below the trailing green foliage of the willows were students, swatting, sweating, occasionally throwing themselves off bridges. The bar of the Eagle, packed with unintelligible science wallers, drunk or boring, frequently both, to be used only as a last resort. Where in this city did one find a